They're very important to D&D. We have feats. They feel even more important now. Let's go into the feats that we have in this UA.
And there are a lot of feats in this
There are
UA.
a lot of feats.
So in the previous Unearthed Arcana, we unveiled a number of first level feats. In this Unearthed Arcana, we focus on 4th level feats and 20th level feats. And the reason for that is most characters are going to start interacting with non-first level feats at 4th level.
Right.
Because in the past, that's when people got the ability score improvement feature. Functionally, nothing has changed. It's just now at 4th level, you get the ability score improvement feat, which functions the same way as the feature. But now it's more transparent that it functionally always was a feat. Now it's just much more clearly where it belongs with the other feats, and you have the option to go with it or one of the many other feats that are available to you. Now, when you take a feat, you can take any feat that is of your level or lower. So when you get to 4th level, that means you're not limited to 4th level feats. If there's a 1st level feat that you would like to take, you can certainly take that feat. But the level of a feat represents the ceiling. It's as high as you can go. Your level has to equal the feats to be able to take the feat, or your level has to be higher than the feat's level. So you're not going to get access to those 20th level feats until your 20th level, and those feats are super exciting. Those are the epic boons that originally appeared in the Dungeon Master's Guide and have all been given a fresh coat of paint. Many of them have been given new functions within them, and now everyone gets one when they hit 20th level. I think that's awesome because in the past, you didn't start getting epic boons until, first off, if your DM even wanted to use those rules.
Right.
Second of all, it was after you hit 20th level. Epic boons were sort of a way for you to keep leveling up once you'd hit the level cap. Now you get your first taste of epic boons when you hit 20th level. And they are really, really good, and we want them to be, because when you hit the top level of the game, we want you to feel truly epic. And we have here in the UA also the rule, just like in the 2014 Dungeon Master's Guide, that you can get more epic boons as you gain XP at 20th level. But we've expanded it, because now we haven't limited it to epic boons, it's just feats in general. So if you decide to play at 20th level for a while and are getting a lot of XP, you have the option of every time you hit that XP threshold of getting another feat. And given the number of feats that are here and that are coming, there will be a lot of ways for you to customize your character, even at max level. Now, in this feat section, in addition to the epic boons and these 4th level feats, what you're going to see in sort of the guts of the feats themselves is a lot of new material. So the feat names will be familiar. You're going to see actor, you're going to see athlete, you're going to see keen mind, so on and so forth. But once you start reading the feat, you are going to find a lot of tasty goodies that were not there before. We revisited every single feat and have, in pretty much most of the cases, there are a few exceptions, upgraded the feat in some way. There were a few feats that were so good the way they were that they're largely the same, but most of these feats have benefits in them that weren't there before. And they're going to make your character have abilities that they didn't have before should you decide to delve into these feats. You're also going to see in the 4th level feats that they give you an ability score increase, because we want to make it so that if you decide to engage in feats other than ability score increase, it doesn't sting as much. There's still a trade-off. I mean, because +2 to an ability score, which increases your modifier across the board, is fantastic. But we want to make it so that the other 4th level feats are truly competitive with that option. And that's why you're going to see here an ability score increase of 1 rather than 2, coupled with the other benefits in the particular feats. And these benefits explore a variety of mechanical tropes that in some cases we have never done before in the current editions. For example, one of the coolest feats, and the sentence I never thought I would say, is durable. A feat that now allows you as a bonus action to expend a hit die and regain hit points.
Right.
And so like suddenly, like if you really want your hit dice to work for you and you don't want it to be tied to short rests, there's a feat for that. If you want to be the person who can study clues and books and other things quicker than anybody else, well, you can now do that with Keen Mind. And it's funny, Keen Mind is the new version, is one of my other favorite feats here, where it has this very simple, one of its benefits is the very simple, you can take the study action as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I need to unpack that.
Yeah,
because that's a new action.
Yeah.
So the rules glossary in this UA introduces several new actions to the game. One of those is the study action. We realized we needed to codify better how do you use your intelligence score typically, sometimes it's other scores, but usually it's intelligence, to figure things out. This design question becomes even more pronounced for characters who've invested in proficiencies like history, religion, arcana. The study action is an answer to that design situation where we give you guidelines on which skills to use for different areas of knowledge, and then that action pairs with things like the new Keen Mind feat where you can take that action as a bonus action. And there's a lot of synergy in this Unearthed Arcana, and people are going to see it in the future ones between all of the elements of the game where we are looking at the baseline rules, classes, subclasses, feats, spells, backgrounds. How do all of these things work together, and how can we make them all sing together even better than they already did? You're also going to see in the rules glossary, and this is on my mind talking about the study action, like the influence action. We have taken our social interaction rules that previously were in the Dungeon Master's Guide and moved them into a baseline action that people can take to try to influence other creatures. We have DCs, we have guidance on how much can you influence somebody else with this? Because it's not mind control.
Right.
It's conversation, or it's gestures, or it's how you're emoting in other ways, and how can you influence somebody using this action. And so again, a number of the feats interact with things in this rules glossary. They give you benefits that you maybe didn't have before. There is even one first level feat in this UA. Originally, there weren't going to be any, but while working on this, we realized the lightly armored feat really should be first level. But also we made it better.
Yeah.
That feat now gives you proficiency with light armor, medium armor, and shields. And our reason for buffing up that feat in that way is you can, if you multi-class, get all those proficiencies by taking one level in certain classes.
Yeah.
Breaking them up the way we had previously was simply too punishing. And so we've now made it so that using these playtest rules, and particularly paired with the backgrounds of the previous UA, if you're playing a character who maybe doesn't get those that armor training, rather. I called it armor proficiency, but actually in this UA, we now call it armor training.
Right.
You can now, with this first level feat, get that training with that armor. By the way, a design note, the reason why we've changed that name from armor proficiency to armor training is armor proficiency was the one proficiency in the game that didn't use your proficiency bonus.
That's not proficiency.
Exactly. And so what we're doing is we're making it so that now in the rules, if something talks about you having proficiency in something, it uses your proficiency bonus.
No, I think from now on, I'm going to make everyone who wants to put on their armor at roll a proficiency roll. I'm going to be the worst DM.
Yeah. So we've actually brought back terminology that was in the game many editions ago of just talking about your armor training.
I am a fan of Spell Sniper. I like the Spell Sniper now is not only about sniping, but just being good at using a spell at close range as well, instead of dipping into Crossbow Expert to get that kind of benefit.
We definitely have heard people loud and clear over the years about not liking the pain of having to take Crossbow Expert just for that one benefit.
Right.
And so that benefit now appears in several feats. It's in Spell Sniper, it's in Sharpshooter, and it's in Crossbow Expert. So whatever your favored flavor of ranged combat here, you can get that. And you might even see that benefit again in some of our future Unearthed Arcanas, because this isn't even all of the feats.
Right.
We've held back feats that are specific to some of the other class groups. So the Unearthed Arcana for warriors is particularly going to have some feats that are not represented here, as long as along with some new options for how to use weapons and have those weapons do things that they have not been able to do in the past. But that will be something we will delve into in great detail when we talk about the fighter, the barbarian, and the monk.
Is there going to be shield stuff?
You just wait and see. It's going to be exciting.